I'm Floyd Vasquez at Globalquerque 2013. Thanks for joining us. And we are joined here, fresh from the stage here at Globalquerque, with Sons of the Rio Grande. Thank you so much for coming.
Our pleasure.
So Globalquerque, you are representing us. You're from New Mexico.
Yes. We are local yokels.
Now, and talk about appearing with these groups from all over the world.
This is quite an honor. This is really an honor for us. You go around and you just see all of the great talent that's here and all of the effort that's gone into the organization of this and the way it's been presented to the community, and we just are honored to be a part of it.
Well, we are so glad that you were here, and you did a great job representing New Mexico. Now, what are your names? So let's introduce you. Go down.
My name is Rob Croft. I play the fiddle and the mandolin.
I'm Waylon Mickey. I play the guitar, and Rob sings tenor, I sing lead. Our baritone vocalist is not with us here for the interview, although he was with us on stage. And
my name is Richard Twilley. I play bass.
Well, thank you for joining us. So talk about the background, the musical traditions, which are obvious, but yet it's a nice mix that's unique and all your own. Talk about the tradition that goes into your sound and message.
Waylon is really our historian. So
well, the songs of the Cowboys form sort of the foundation of the kind of music that we do. And during the peak of the Cowboys in the 1880s, they had certain songs that they sang on the range. And that tradition was derived a lot from seafaring songs. So there's a lot of Irish, Scotch influence on the really old cowboy songs. In fact, many of them are lightly modified versions of seafaring songs. We have a few of them in our set. We like to do some of the real, authentic cowboy songs. But then in the 20th century, as popular music began to come into its own like we know it today, the Tin Pan Alley tradition included an aspect of Western music which was not necessarily authentic to the range. In fact, much of it was composed in Hollywood for movies. But that became a tradition in its own right, and we gladly carry that forward into the modern age. It's getting on to be 100 years old, some of it these days, even though it's newer than the old cowboy music. And so we especially like the old Tin Pan Alley's stuff.
That's good stuff.
Richard's favorite especially. A lot of really fine songwriting went into it. A lot of really fun songs were written back in those days. And Western music, of course, is not as big as it used to be in the 40s when the B movies used it extensively.
Sons of the Pioneers, and Gene Autry, and Roy Rogers, and Dale Evans, some of the big names that really pervade the music and made it popular.
The genre is not as big as it was back then, but it persists to this day, and in fact people are still writing music, including us. We still write some music for the Western genre, and so we're just sort of bridging probably about a century and a half of musical tradition that's oriented around the scenery and the imagery of the American West.
Now, and where are you from? This is really, that's remarkable. I love that description. It's like you're a scholar in addition to being a musician. Where are you here in New Mexico, and the choices that you've made to specialize in this genre of music? Tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you do here in New Mexico.
Okay.
Well, I've grown up in New Mexico. I'm a native New Mexican, and I just love well, actually I wrote a song to express my feelings about this, and it's called "The Spirit and Beauty of the West." And we sang it tonight, and we won an award for it. And just growing up in the outdoors in the West and appreciating its beauty, I just love being part of it. So I've just grown up here. I'm a banker in my real life, but I've always enjoyed music, and so that's kind of where I came from in terms of Western music.
Wonderful.
And Western music really has a lot in common with mariachi music. It's a kind of folk music that's oriented around the people of the land, but where mariachi music is sung in Spanish, Western music is mostly sung in English, and they really have a lot in common. In fact, Richard has a guitarrón, but he never will bring it on stage. So.
Maybe for good reason.
Well, where can viewers find more information about you online?
We have a website, sonsoftheriogrande.com, and you can go there and hear our music and even order it if you like. It's on sale right now at the merchandise desk. And I think you can also find us on cdbaby.com.
Yes, yes, indeed. And also, coming up in November, I believe,
Yes.
this year, there is a Western Music Association festival here in Albuquerque. So there is an entire organization that is devoted and dedicated to carrying on the tradition of Western music. And Albuquerque is becoming a real hub for that over the last several years, eight to 10 years. And so there's a chapter here in Albuquerque and in November. And so you can go to the Western Music Association website, just Google up Western Music Association, and you can find out all about that festival. And there'll be all kinds of Western music performers and entertainers coming to town for 3 days. And it's usually held at, I think, at the Marriott over at Louisiana
That's
and
right.
I-40. But it's a wonderful opportunity for anyone who really wants to get back in touch with Western music to come out and see a great lineup of performers.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, and thank you so much for joining us. We loved your performance. There's going to be a clip on this Facebook page with some of their music from the set today, so please check that out too. Floyd Vasquez, Globalquerque 2013, thank you very much.
Happy trails.